All right, let's get started. Welcome to the Ragic office hour this week. So let's get started on your questions. All right, first question. Can a user create and save their own template? So I finished the basic layout of a custom sheet, but I want to use it as a template for additional sheets making different changes to meet my needs, saving time to start from scratch when designing a new sheet. Okay, yeah, you can kind of use existing sheets as templates. So the way to do this is when you're making a copy of a sheet, duplicate sheet, and you could just click like uncheck use same data source on new sheet. If you don't check this, you're basically creating a new sheet just with the exact same design. So if you duplicate the sheet without using without using the same data source, it's gonna be a new sheet. It's basically using the old sheet as a template. So it's like a templated Ragic questions. All right, see? So this one has all the same design of the old sheet, but without the same data. And you can, move it to another tab using the sheet manager, or you can move it to a different tab menu if you want. All right? Okay, let's delete this. And also, if you want to apply your current design of the database, the whole database design to another database account of Ragic, and you can always just like download the backup. You can download the backup, backing up the database definitions only. If you only back up the database definition and you restore it to another account, it's not going to bring any of your data or overwrite any data on the target account. It's only going to use your current database design, all the sheets in your accounts, and copy it into the new account. Okay. All right. You can use, what's that called? Duplicate sheet? Yeah. You can use duplicate sheet function to copy the design of a sheet using an existing sheet as a template to create use existing application as a template for another account. You can download the database definition back and restore it in another account. Okay? Yeah. So these two tools are useful for when you're thinking about using sheets as templates. And also, if you design a few sheets, you can also duplicate. You can duplicate the whole tab. Like if you have 3 or 5, 10 sheets on a tab, you want to duplicate it for another tab. You can also duplicate tab. Duplicate sheet or duplicate tab function. All right. Next question. Use of report colors. Okay, yeah, this is from 2 weeks ago, and we're talking about report colors, and I asked the user to clarify what they mean by the report colors. Okay, it's not any particular report, but all reports. Why not use colors to improve readability of reports? This is very standard on more report systems. Okay, yeah, then this is probably a more general suggestion, and yeah, I think we could talk about. Well, we'll need to discuss each report and see how we can add more different ways to add color customizations to these reports. Yeah, but each reports are created individually because it's not like a standard, like one standard report. Because for reports, it's more like we created each type of report. Like for each one of these are almost completely different independent module for us, and they work independently to each other. So if we want to add coloring features to them, then we're likely gonna have to add them individually. So we'll discuss this with our development team, and we'll make a note of this and see if we can add coloring features for these reports in the future. I think I was disconnected because of my network connection. I think I'm back online. Yeah, I'm back online now. Okay, yes. Okay, next question. Nonprofit penalized. Okay, are you going to change your nonprofit pricing structure? I'm a hobbyist, one user who does records for a Boy Scout group. I find it wrong that you give 30%. For a nonprofit, there's a minimum of 5 users. No, yeah, okay. Yeah, we are for our nonprofit discount. We do have a minimum of 5 users, and we have heard this a few times that people wanted to have the nonprofit discount, but they don't have 5 users. You know, when we're designing this pricing, and we were thinking that we want to apply this kind of discount when there's pressure on the monthly payment, when there's 5 users. But we have been hearing from several nonprofit organizations that they have 1 user, they have 2 users, and they would still like to have some nonprofit discount to help them out with the budget. So yeah, we heard you. So we're gonna discuss this. Yeah, I think we'll have this discussion again and see if there's something we can do there. Yeah, basically see if we can remove the minimum users restriction for non-profit discounts. Let me make a note on the other. Oops. Yeah, we heard. Yeah, recently we've also heard from a few other nonprofit organizations. So yeah, we'll talk about this and we'll let you guys know. Okay, can I make a sheet to just load data from another? Okay, I think you can. I have a very basic sheet for planning an activity, but the activity might include different tasks. Each of the tasks are added in a subtable that uses link and load from another sheet. Okay. Basically, my planning sheet has information about the activity plan like location, clients, and other data. I might include more in the future, and it has a subtable where I can pick the tasks that I perform to complete the activity. Okay. Once I fill in all the data saved in Ragic, I can see it by clicking the record. Now I would like to do is to have another sheet where I will link the auto-generated records from the planning sheet. Once I select it, it will populate the data, including the subtables. Okay, yeah. Link and load, of course, you can load from another sheet, but right now it doesn't really load the subtables with link and load. It will be like a search sheet. I will click on the linked record. It will pop up the values from where I pick or select the ones I need. Oh, I need to make this font large. It will be like a search sheet. I will click on the linked record. It will pop up the value from where I will pick or select the ones I need. It will populate my sheet with all the data associated with the record. Is it possible? Okay, let me see. Manually input data and subtable of data. You want to copy this. So with link and load, it's not possible, but you should be able to do this with convert record. Let me look at your question again. So activity sheet have these activities and tasks, and link the auto-generate record from planning sheet. Okay. Okay. So yeah, you can do this with the convert record feature. So it basically works like this. So let's say there's a service request. This kind of looks like the sheet that you have. No. This is your sheet. So this kind of looks like the same sheet. So if we have another sheet for service request, we can create a convert record feature to copy records to that sheet. So okay, we could just make a copy of this sheet like we did before. So without the same data source. So this is a service request copy. So we could create a function to automatically copy a record from service request to service request copy. So this is how we do it. And when we go to the change design feature and we go to form tools, convert records, and we can convert this sheet to service request copy. And you can click on auto mapping fields so that we can map the fields with the same names to the new sheet. And since the copy sheet is copied, so they'll have the same name. So it's very easy to do auto mapping here. And maybe we could remove one of the fields that we don't want to copy, like this. And there's also some more advanced configuration that you can set. And so let's just create this, copy to other sheet. So this creates an action button to copy the current record to another sheet. So we save this. Okay, so now we're at, like, when you say activity, we have like job A, and we can click copy to another sheet. and it will be the whole record, including all items in the subtable, is going to be copied to the service copy sheet. So yeah, so now this sheet has one record, and it's copied directly from the service request sheet. And we could like do this again for the second service request, copy to another sheet. So now this service request copy have two independent records, two records independent from the source. So if you delete the record here, and it's not going to affect the original sheet because these are two completely independent sheets. Okay? All right. You can do link and load does not support loading subtable, loading multiple rows of subtable data currently. Yeah, we also discussed if we can do link and load with multiple rows of subtable data. So it might be possible in the future, but not right now. But you can do something similar by using the convert record function that we just demoed. Okay, let me bring up the document for your reference, the convert record. Okay. All right, next question. I have a question about importing data from CSV files or Excel files. I'm importing data from several CSV files. Each is structured in the same way, but it's different from a different country, has different name. Okay. The sheet I'm importing to has the file structure and the field for country name. Okay, so different, so basically the same sheet, and yeah, except different data source, they have a field for which country this data source is for, and they have a field on that sheet for the country name. Okay, the country name does not appear in the files. Okay. Okay. Can I define in the import process to add a name of the country in relevant files in the sheet, maybe based on the name of or other options? Wow, can't think of any configuration for exactly this purpose yet, but Or in a different case, can I define the calculation on certain fields in files, even pre or post import, so that a calculated field is filled in automatically? Yes, you could do that with a formula, and you could trigger the formula. You can trigger the formula when you're doing the import. These are just sample cases. The question is, do you have a solution for adding info during pre or post import to the sheet based on data in a file or based on the file name, etc.? Well, you could do something based on the data in a file. You could just create a field with formulas to do some calculations and trigger the formula. But I don't think you could add a field in the import process though, if you don't have it on your sheet. Yeah, I think you could basically create a formula for that. Currently, there's no configuration in the import feature to create a new field to populate a field based on import configuration. But alternatively, you can add a field with configured with formulas, with a formula, and trigger the formula during the import. Yeah, this could work if you're able to determine the country, the country the data source is for with the formula. Okay, so when you're doing the import, and notice you could also do periodic imports from URL. And when you're doing the import, you should be able to, there's a configuration here. Yeah, you could just check, recalculate all formulas. Copy image. Make sure to check, recalculate all formulas when you're doing the import. Okay. All right, next question. It would be great if you have training videos for end users. I can't find anything other than the user manual. Yeah. I don't think we have end user training video yet. We heard about this request before, but I don't think we have it yet. Just don't hear it that often though. I have 12 plus mechanics that I have to train to use Ragic, which is awesome by the way, thank you. And a video showing all the features of Ragic, explaining how to use filters, sorts, etc. will be a huge help. Thanks for reading and thanks for a great product. Thank you, and thank you, Pete. And yeah, because usually we try to make the whole interface as intuitive as possible, but we do understand that in some cases that some video tutorials for the interface to how to use the whole interface would be helpful. And yeah, okay, I'll let our content team know, and to see if we can add some these kind of user side end user video tutorials. Video tutorials. Yeah, usually these kind of suggestions is pretty useful for our team, and yeah, there are some blind spots. So a lot of times when we're so used to the system, we don't really realize that some people's it would be helpful to have these kind of end user training videos. So yeah, that would be helpful. Okay, I wonder why Ragic can do simple things like reference other sheets. Oh, Ragic can do reference other sheets. Like, there are a lot of features for Ragic to do referencing other sheets and do sum ifs. Sum ifs. Well, Ragic does have sum if, and it's doing the sum if on Ragic is to when you're referencing items on the same sheet. So all formulas on Ragic reference the data on the same record. So if you're referencing other records or records other sheet, you can still do it, but not with formulas. So Ragic is a database application. It's not a spreadsheet. So spreadsheet formulas, when you're using spreadsheet formulas to reference other sheets, on Ragic, you need to do it differently because Ragic only looks like a spreadsheet, but underneath it, it's like a very complete database application system. So it's not really a spreadsheet. It only looks like a spreadsheet and behaves like a spreadsheet for people to learn it and understand it more easily. But underneath it, it's really a full database application. Trying to do a simple trial balance can't be done according to support. Okay, well, it would be helpful if afterwards you can point me to the support ticket that you that you have with our support team. But so I'm gonna list some of the reference other sheet. Okay, I guess you're trying to do reference other sheet and SUMIF at the same time. So we do have SUMIF. So let me point out first. And you'll probably need to do some link and load for you to specify which record that you would like to reference on the other sheet, and then do SUMIF there. So to answer your question in a more complete way, I'm gonna need a whole like use case of your question. Okay, first of all, the formulas. I'm sure there's some if. Okay, some ifs. Ragic formula only refer to data on the same record. If you need to refer to data on other sheets or other records, you will need to use link and load or other sheet relation features to add linked fields, or link fields or records as subtables. And then you will be able to do SUMIFs there. Okay, here's the documentation to SUMIF. And I'm gonna list some of the possible ways where you can do these kind of sheet relations, but for which feature to use, I'm gonna need your full use case to know exactly how to do those. But I will need more detailed use case if I were to do a full demo. But here's some likely useful features for referencing other sheets. Okay, so first, of course, is our most common link and load. Basically, link and load and new sheet from subtable and show reference from existing sheet. These two we do this with subtables so that you can do one-to-many relationships, and link and load is mostly like one-to-one relationships. sheet from subtable. So you have a sheet with multiple records as subtable. You could create a new sheet from subtable so that each record becomes an independent record on another sheet. And if you update data on that new sheet, it's going to be reflected on the old parent sheet. And this is what we usually call reference subtables. So this is basically the new sheet from subtable reversed. So you can add a record to another sheet as its subtable. So you could have the new record from subtable, the new record sheet first, and add it back as a subtable. So these are like the three most common way to link the data between two sheets. So with these, you could do like one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-many relationship with these functions. All right. Hope this helps. Okay, next question. Filtering when field type is number. Okay. Can additional filters be applied, can be added for fields which are numbers, which are greater than, less than, between? I think so, yes. Oh, so you're using this. Okay, this is filtered by text, but if you want to filter by number, you could just simply use the sidebar filter. We have, this is not really a number, so demo, let's go to a demo, like timesheet should have a number of staff, so there should be a, like, between these two numbers. So for a number field on the sidebar, there should be a filter that you could do a number range search. Do a number range search using the left filter sidebar. All right. Yeah, sometimes people miss that because on Excel you usually always use the top field header. So we try to have like two slightly different filter functions on each side so that to serve different needs. Okay, filtering all field types. Can options be added for filtering text fields and other fields? For text fields. Options for text fields. That's feels kind of weird, but might work. Field contains, I believe this is apply default search option. Field starts with, oh, okay. So you're trying to add options for text fields and other fields. For text fields, they're like this. And if you click total and summary, you should be able to have all the options there. And if you click on one of those, you're able to filter it. But we have something, basically we have something similar for this requirement with our total and summary, but it might not be exactly what you want, but it's kind of similar. You click on total and summary on a sheet. It lists all the values, all the values for a text field, and you can do searches based on these values. Okay, but for field starts with, field ends with, you'll still need to kind of enter it because yeah, right now we don't have a way to add that kind of configuration per field, but you could still do that, like field starts with, field ends with filters, and then save it as a view though. Or field starts with or field ends with searches. You can do the searches and then save them as a view for future uses. All right. Okay, next question. Okay. Yeah, he's clarifying that he wants for the numeric fields equals that he wants to have equals does not equal to, greater than equal to, and less than equal to. So basically, we could do that, but with this, we could do that with this sidebar search, but probably not, cannot specify if it includes equal to or not. It will always include equal to with this search. Is there any like detailed configuration there? No. We have most of this comparison available as the left sidebar search, except for greater than or less than, not including equal to. Okay. Yeah, let me include this again. It's basically a search like this. Is there a way to make an action button conditional? For example, when clicking the button, I want to check if a certain field is empty. Okay, if empty, I want to stop running the button. Okay. That might be possible with, I'm not with conditional formatting. Yeah, you could hide the action button with the conditional formatting if, according to certain conditions. So you should be able to hide action button and choose which action button to hide, or even lock action button according to some conditional formatting rules. Okay, yeah, that's not very hard with the conditional formatting. You can hide or lock an action button with conditional formatting. For these types of checks. also for detail on conditional formatting, right here. Oh, I copied it too. Detail on conditional formatting. I should put it in answers. Have I been putting my answers in question detail? Okay. All right, I think that's it for the question I have for today. And thanks for joining in on the Ragic office hour. I know most of you are watching the video with the recording, and that's perfectly fine. And I'll talk to you guys in 2 weeks and see if you have any questions. If you have any questions, feel free to ask your questions here on the Ragic office hour question sheet. So I'll talk to you guys next in 2 weeks. All right, thank you. Bye.